Finding a job is always tricky business, especially for software engineers. Finding the right job can especially be tricky business. Not because there are fewer jobs, but because there are so many companies, projects, and areas to choose from. So what does it take to find the right job in the software industry? Software engineers are not lacking of choices. It may seem like a good problem to have, but if you land a job that doesn't fit your skills, you can face a hard time growing as a software engineer. But finding the first job is already a big challenge. So can you afford to be picky about it? Well, it's a valid question, especially for young, fresh graduates. But if you go about it the right way, not only will you be able to find a job, but you can rest assured that it'll be one that you've always dreamed of. In this video, I'll talk about how you can find the right software engineering job. These are some essential tips and tricks that should help you target the right industry so you can ace your interview and do well in your job role. Let's get started. First, let's identify your skills. It all starts with understanding your strengths and weaknesses. So start with a self-analysis and note down the areas of strength and weaknesses as a software engineer. List down areas that you're good at. For example, you might be good at back-end development or testing. On the other hand, your front-end development or UI UX design skills might not be the best. Here it's even better to revise your final year projects, internship experience, and open source projects. It'll unravel your strengths and weaknesses as a software engineer. Once you've made a list, identify your top 3 skills and focus on them further. When you're doing this exercise, make sure to avoid this one big mistake. Don't add skills that you're not good at. Being honest is important, and even if you're weak at specific skills, you can always improve on them later. But for the start, be 100% sure about the skills you believe you know well. When you note down your strengths, you have already narrowed down your target industries and well-fitting roles. For example, if you're good at Python programming, you should target positions that are related to Python development. Likewise, you are also cutting down the job niches that don't suit your skills. For example, if you're not good at embedded C programming, there's no point in applying for posts relevant to it. Next, work on your resume. An appealing resume is the only tool you can sell your skill to recruiters as a young graduate. So make sure it fits the employer's needs, which means that you cannot send the same resume everywhere. This is one of the most horrible mistakes that young graduates commit, mainly because of their desperation for a job. But remember, an irrelevant resume will take you nowhere. It means that building a resume requires attention to detail. Recruiters don't spend a ton of time scanning resumes, so you have a tiny window to impress them. Your resume must have the right buzzwords for the industry niche. For example, if you're applying for a back-end developer role, use relevant keywords like server-side programming, backward programming, etc. Additionally, take care of the following points. Mention only the skills that relate to the position. Mention your relevant internships, and talk about your open source project contributions or self-driven projects related to the position. Make sure to use a quantitative approach because hard numbers tend to catch the eye. For instance, if your code improved website performance by 60%, mention it on your resume. Telling your resume according to the requirements takes some time. So there will be several edits, rewording, new information, deletion, and there can be several versions of your resume. But that's okay. As long as you're refining the document, it's okay to go the extra mile. Next, build your presence online. I always emphasize making an online presence. So go ahead, build a GitHub profile, and list all your projects there. Did you know that 77% of recruiters search for job candidates on the internet? Having no presence on GitHub or LinkedIn means you're seriously depriving yourself of job opportunities. Building an online presence isn't all that difficult either. Most of us have a social media account on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc. Well, it's time to use these platforms for more than just memes and entertainment. Reach out to potential recruiters. There's always someone you know from the industry. More importantly, talk about projects that relate to your field. Here it's also critical to clean up your profile to remove all the stuff that presents you as a red flag. All of us make Facebook rants at some point in our teenage years. Still, it's time to clean up and appear more professional, because let's face it, your social media profile is effectively your face for the digital audience. Next, do some research. By now it should be obvious in your mind where you want to go. So it's time to start doing some research and start filtering into job niches. While it might seem easy to just type software engineering jobs in the USA on a Google search, it can open up tens of thousands of job opportunities for you to apply to. So bring some clarity to the research and search with the right keywords. Here are some things to focus on: job position, company location, salary ranges, and essential skills needed for the job. Researching for a job should yield 2 significant results. Firstly, it tells you the requirements of the current industry, so even if you're not good at the needed skills, you'll be able to work on them and improve your job prospects. Secondly, you will understand the level of the competition for the specific job roles. It gives an idea of the regions that are more promising for a certain job role. For example, some surveys suggest that Austin, Texas has the most IT jobs in the last year, as the region welcomed nearly 5,500 tech startup jobs in that year. This will also lead you to decide whether you should move to a new place or your current place is suitable for the IT job that you're looking for. Next, build a physical network. Some companies don't even post openings online. Internal referrals are very common, and recruiters mainly consider these referrals from their current employees. It means that your physical network needs to be strong. Reach out to your friends in the industry and let them know about your job search. Also, if you're brave enough to get in touch with recruiters directly, there's a good chance of you getting an interview. Often employers prefer candidates who reach out to them without going through the standard processes of the application. After all, everyone loves to work with coworkers who are willing to take up a challenge. So sending a direct message on social media or a short meeting at a networking event can prove to be vital for your job chances. Something that I have leveraged in the past is using your university's alumni network directory. Here you can look for people that are employed at a particular company or holds a specific job title. You can reach out to these people and see if they're willing to talk to you briefly and learn more about their role. At the end of this conversation, you can ask if they know of any positions at their company that might be a fit for your skills. Next, keep learning new skills. It's always possible that your strong area might not be in demand. So what's your way forward? You can't always create a job for your unique strength, so it means that you must keep learning new skills. Remember we talked about how job search will highlight the most in-demand areas in software engineering? Well, it's time to start learning those skills. And it's not that difficult either. You can get several online courses on Coursera and other platforms. There are also YouTube tutorials and so many different channels to learn new skills. Therefore, as you keep learning new skills, you're opening more gates for opportunity in the software industry. Next, don't underestimate follow-ups. As a first-timer, you might be hesitant to make a follow-up for your application. However, it's essential to check your application status. Making a follow-up isn't too difficult either. It could be as simple as a thank you email to the recruiter who took time for your interview or your application. Just smoothly slip in a question about when you can expect a response. Submitting and forgetting the application, hoping the recruiters will get back to you, is almost criminal, especially for new candidates. Now that you know how to find a job, watch my video on 3 things all software engineers must know before interviewing now. See you in there.